Hello everyone, I'm Atul Dahale and welcome to my Incredible Chess channel. Right now, I'm playing in Prague International Chess Festival, which is happening in Prague, Czech Republic. And in the first round, I was playing against a 1300 player whose name is Melnikov Ivan. And I'm in this video going to show you how I played this game. The thing is that in this game he failed to understand that he needs to develop the pieces, which is a very common mistake which happens to many beginners or intermediate players, that they fail to understand this thing, that in the opening phase we need to develop our pieces as quickly as possible, because if you don't do that thing, then you might be behind in development and it might cause a lot of trouble to you. So without further delay, let's get started with the game. Before we go further, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you are new here. So let's begin. The d4, I started with d4. My opponent played e6. I thought like maybe I can play e4 also in this position, which might go to the French, but I stick to the c4 move and he played f5. Well, this is a very common move nowadays. Many people go for this is the Dutch defense, you can say. Then I played knight c3, developing my piece. He also developed his piece, knight f6. I played g3 so that my bishop will come on this diagonal. Okay, he played d5 immediately, stopping all my ideas to go for the diagonal. I still played bishop g2, c6. The pawn is supported. Then I had two options, knight h3 and knight f3 and knight h3. I decided to play knight h3. Well, knight f3 is also possible. There is nothing wrong with this move, but I thought like maybe I can play knight h3 and try to play f3 e4. This is my usual plan in this position. He played bishop d6, which is a very natural move. I castled, he also castled. So we have developed our pieces. Now comes the main thing, bishop to f4. Now I'm putting some pressure, and if he captures here, of course I can capture it back. My knight will be in the center of the board. And one more thing which you can see is like all these pawns are on the light squares and this light square bishop is there. So it's not that easy for black to develop the pieces in this position. So he did not go for that thing. Another thing is also there, that he cannot play knight d7 because the bishop on d6 will be hanging. So maybe here queen e7 he played, but bishop moving back is also one of the viable options, which looks a little bit bad, but it is possible. Okay, but he played queen e7 and now the pawn on c4 needs to be supported. I played queen b3, putting some pressure over here, because if he tries to play bishop b7 or something like that, I can simply capture the pawn on b7. So that's no longer possible. He played knight d7, no issues. I brought a rook a d1. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to play f3 and e4, but if I go for that thing without playing rook d1, let's suppose I play this move and he might play something else. Let's suppose I play some random move here, and if I go for this, or even he can play knight h5. Okay, let's suppose this move is also played, and if I capture here and then e4 is played, the thing is that always the d4 pawn will be hanging. So it's always better idea to get your pieces in the center of the board and then only go for the opening of the center. Here he played knight h5, which I did not like that much. I had the option of capturing here or leave the bishop here, but I thought like, okay, I have another option of attacking the queen, which I went for. I played bishop g5, attacking the queen. He came back with knight f6, and finally I played f3. The intention which was there since the start is going to happen. I'm going to play e4 in this position. h6 was played, bishop moves back to f4 square. Of course, like I need to put pressure here. He again played knight h5. This is something which I would like to tell you, that in the opening phase, it's very important to develop your pieces as quickly as possible. Playing the same piece again and again will not really help you. So that's why you should avoid this kind of things. Here, maybe in this position, instead of knight h5, I would have preferred to play b6 is also one of the options in this position, which is there. And what else can be done? Knight h5, bishop here, knight f6, bishop f3 was played, h6, bishop f4, and he played again this knight h5 move, which I don't like. b6 is still a possibility here, trying to get this bishop on a6 or bishop b7. And you know, once your bishop will move, your rook will also come in the game, and that's how you develop your pieces. But he did not go for this thing. He was wasting his moves, knight h5, and finally I said like, okay, it's time for me to capture here and go for the opening of the center. So I played e4. F captures e4 was played, f captures e4. He captured on c4, which doesn't really change that much in this position. Now it's his desperate attempt to get the pieces in the game. He played knight b6, but still this bishop needs to play it. And this knight on the ream is deemed, that's what we say. and I got my queen back in the game, attacking the knight on h5 square. Knight cannot really go back because the simple move e5 will be coming and the piece will be lost here. So he played g6. Okay, after he played g6, I thought like, okay, it's time for me to attack on the king side. For that I need to get my pieces in the game, so I played e5. Queen is under attack. Queen was played here. I brought my queen here on g4 square so that the g6 pawn will be hanging. He well, it was possible for him to play this move also, which is not a bad idea, but I might play bishop e4 attacking here. But the move which I was a little bit considerate in the game was rook f5, and he might give up the exchange sacrifice and still play. That's why maybe first I need to capture here. Queen captures here, and then I can play bishop e4, and then the pawn on g6 is under attack. I can even get my rook in the game to put pressure here. Or the idea which I was doing after queen e8, instead of getting the pieces like bishop e4 and all, I thought why not get the knight on e4 square and followed by knight d6. Make sure that in this position you can understand that the bishop is not yet developed, rook is not in the game, knight on b6 is not playing in the game, knight on h5 is also very weak. So it's time for me to get more pieces. So I play knight e4 with the idea of simple miss. First I captured on f8, king captures f8, and I play knight e4 with the idea of playing knight d6. Queen will be under attack, the pawn on g6 will be falling, so he defended the pawn with king g7, but I still continued with knight d6, queen g8, and now I brought bishop e4. Now it's almost over. King cannot be played here at 7 because queen into h5, the piece will be lost. And well, in the game he played queen h7, but a simple move came in the game, rook f1 with the idea of rook f7, and it's all over. Well, he played king g8, one move, last move of the game. Bishop into g6 was played. Now if the queen moves anywhere, the piece on h5 is hanging, and it's almost over. If he plays something like queen g7, maybe that's a possibility in this case. So I have another idea of rook f7, which is a possibility, or I can simply capture queen into h5 or bishop into h5 also. This is also possible. In this I should be able to win the game. So he decided to resign the game. So guys, that's how I played my first game of Prague Chess Festival, you can say. And I will be getting back with more interesting videos. Keep subscribing to channel, keep liking this video so that it will reach more people. And I hope that you understood that why you should develop your pieces as quickly as possible in the game. Because if you don't develop your pieces, then your position will be bad. See you then next time. Thank you very much. Bye. Take care. Love you all.